And notice it first thing, but come tomorrow morning, you certainly will. The refreshing feel lasts from start to finish tomorrow, and even more sunshine around here, but it comes with some Canadian wildfire smoke, so a touch of haze is going to be around almost all day long.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hurry in to DQ for their sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets with flavor from the top, bottom, and everywhere in between. Try them today in Honey Barbecue or New Buffalo, only at DQ. Happy tastes good, only at participating Dairy Queen locations. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Just saying, Jay. Have a look at this little beauty.
And the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, line to right. It's a base hit down the line. Castellanos coming around third. He's going to come home and score. Throw will go to second, and JT ties the ball game 3-3 here in the bottom of the 11th. Swing and a drive, center field and deep. Pro Armstrong going after it. It won't matter. It lands at the base of the wall. JT is home to score. Brandon Marsh with a walk-off as the Phillies rally, and they beat the Cubs and snap their losing streak, a 4-3 win.
World Series back on. Good afternoon, Daily Ticket. Sean Race riding solo on a Tuesday for now. Luke Arcaini getting us ready for Game 2 live from Citizens Bank Park. Talking all things Phillies and Cubs to get the party started here on a Daily Ticket. A lot to get to. Stanley Cup Finals rolling on last night. Ugly beatdown of a game. NBA Finals conversation coming up a little bit later. NFL Inside the Insiders. Got some actual good traction on the timeline when it comes to the world of NFL. Looking forward to our new show weekly here on the on the Gambler. Football is King with Ryan Beef Coyle and Nick McClay. A lot of good stuff coming out of that show, of course. Football is King, and that's why we decided to roll that out there. New show for the summertime, and I think that one is going to stick. A matter of fact, right now, I think Beef, there's a letter in the mail. I'm not lying to you. There is a letter in the mail to iHeartRadio addressed to Ryan Beef Coyle. That I'm not lying to you. My boy has made it. He has made it. He's getting fan mail. You got to love it. All right. You also have to love the fact that the Phillies found a way to battle back in a game that not one of you out there believed that they would win. And they did so against a damn good Chicago Cubs team that have hitters mashing the baseball all over. You saw the lineup front and center last night as far as home runs are concerned with Suzuki, Crow Armstrong, Tucker, who went yard in the bottom of the first inning. Again, that Cubs lineup is nasty. There's a lot to like about the Chicago Cubs this season. That's why they're on top of the division. As far as the Phillies are concerned, Wheeler goes out there, pitches like Zach Wheeler was what you expect from a Zach Wheeler appearance, except for the home run given up to Tucker there. Essentially, I'm in the same boat you guys all were. I thought that the Phillies were going to find a way to lose that game yesterday, but 16 hits to the Chicago Cubs 5 was enough to get it done. Unbelievable. All right, let's head out to Citizens Bank Park. Luke Arcaini joining us right from the jump here to get the party started on a Tuesday Daily Ticket. Luke, you were in the building. That's a really dangerous Chicago Cubs lineup. How the hell did the Phillies get 16 hits? The Cubs got 5, and yet we had to sweat that one out in extra innings.
Yeah, that's what happens when 15 of your 16 hits are just singles and not extra base hits. And the one extra base hit was when Castellanos got thrown out at second base. So, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you hit a lot of singles and you can't get guys in with runners in scoring position. They grounded into 3 double plays. It was, just about everything that could have almost possibly went wrong early in the game from a lineup perspective, went wrong. They made 3 outs on the bases. They hit into 3 double plays. They were 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position in the first 10 innings. And they ended up winning in the 11th with a single, a bunt, and a pop-up to deep center field. It doesn't always have to be pretty, especially when you get out of a slump. It doesn't matter how you win to get out of a slump. Because it's I would say it's about 75% of these hitters that are struggling right now. The only good hitter on the Phillies over the last 2 weeks has been Trey Turner. Even Schwarber's had a rough last week or so. So sometimes you just have to find a way. And that's what they did last night against a good Cubs team. That's a team that it feels like 7 or 8 different guys come up to the plate, and it just feels like they can cause an issue and they can cause havoc. And Zach Wheeler did Zach Wheeler things last night, like you said. Fastest pitcher to ever reach 1,000 strikeouts in Phillies history. The dude's just an animal. He showed it last night, and going out there, I think he was around 90, like very, very low 90s. As far as pitch count going out into his 6th inning. And, he got out of that with a 13 pitch inning to basically get through 6. Because, even with the state of this bullpen right now, you were kind of like, crap, they need to get 7, 8, 9 out of a bullpen when Kerkering pitched Sunday versus a good Cubs team. And they didn't just get 3, they got 5. They got 5 innings out of the bullpen, one earned run. It was really good stuff from them last night. Yeah. Even a guy like Carlos Hernandez last night has to come into the 11th inning in a tie game, and you expect one. Good teams get 1 run in extra innings. If you put a reliever into an extra innings game and they get out of the extra inning with 1 run, that's a positive. And he let up 1 double to the best probably young player in baseball in PCA, and he got out of it. They just continue to find a way last night, and they're in a good spot to win another ball game tonight.
Yeah, they are with Abel on the mound. We'll talk a little bit more about that game, obviously, coming up here in just a second. Phillies and Cubs round 2 down at Citizens Bank Park. Hopefully no more rain on the horizon. It would be nice to get some dry weather for the next couple days, please.
It doesn't look like it tonight, which is good. It looks like the next few days should be pretty clear.
All right. Mick Abel -108, Cubs -112, 9.5 is our total here on DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, Luke. And again, for the people tuning in, fire away any Phillies questions. We like to keep things surface level. We don't like to panic too much on this show when you play 162. And you know what? This team looked bad in that, losing 5 straight and 9 out of their 10. And, I just think a win like that last night has to make you breathe so much easier. And it's obvious, when you go up against a team like the Chicago Cubs, you're going to get your best effort. And that's another thing that was playing into my mind, that the Phillies were the side yesterday. Of course, it starts and ends with Zach Wheeler on the mound. And I think he deserves a ton of credit to be able to go, hey, man, let me tell you about having a kid. All right. And then the fact that you have to go back out to work a week, not even a week later, a couple days? And you perform like that?
I think they had the kid on Thursday.
It's insane.
Friday.
It's insane.
Dude, that's not even a father of 1. That's a father of 4.
Correct.
He's got 4 kids at home.
Whole different ball game.
Any of them are under the age of 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So.
God bless people like Zach Wheeler. Now we all know at the end of the day he has some extra dollars in the account that probably are, able to foot the bill for a nanny or 2. With all love and respect, I have no idea.
No matter how much money you make a father of 4 still doesn't sleep
No,
that much at night.
not at all. Yeah, and for him to come out there and pitch the way he did after giving up that home run to Tucker, a great Chicago Cubs lineup. Just funny because when you look at the Cy Young Award, if you were to tell me Zach Wheeler at 9-1 is one of your plays, I know Skeens has this award already wrapped up at -180, but I would take Wheeler over Chris Sale, Yamamoto, Logan Webb, Christopher Sanchez, Robbie Ray, Mackenzie Gore. Skeens is the guy, no doubt about that, but we've seen things happen before, and I'm not trying to wish ill will on anybody, but I do believe that Zach Wheeler, Cy Young, is a live dog as far as that award is concerned. We're not going to waste too much time because I'm pretty sure you would be in agreement on that one. Back over to the Phillies. Yesterday, and we do know that, like, it's not so much they have to make a move to get to a World Series. Like, it's not the end of the world if Dombrowski doesn't go out there and get some big-time player. I still think this team is going to compete. But the issue for me is when it comes to September/October, you're going to have one opportunity to look back at that trade deadline. It's your last time that you can add to your roster. And when you get to September and you get to October, if you know that's the way it plays out for the Phillies, which we all hope it does, and you don't make a move, I feel like you're going to be kicking yourself in the backside. So I think we're all in agreement that there will be moves made come trade deadline. Trade deadline isn't until July 31st, Luke.
We got time.
That's a long ways away.
Oh, that's a lot of baseball.
A lot of baseball. So, like, it's almost like when you break this schedule down, you have to break it down in segments. So here they are. Just went through a tough stretch. 9 out of 10, 5 straight. Terrible baseball, swept against the Pirates first time in forever, understood. But what is it now for you over these next 6 weeks that you want to see? What is it now that is Rob Thompson? Does he have to step up and bring more to the table? Is it something you're looking to hear from Dombrowski, or is it on the field like we saw last night with Marsh getting his first opportunity to, or not his first opportunity, his first time playing baseball ever? Little League, high school, Teener League, you name the league, it's the first time that Brandon Marsh has ever hit a walk-off. How crazy is that? What are you looking for over these next 6 to 7 weeks that will make you a little bit sleep easier at night, make you believe a little bit more in this team? Because they are good. We know that. But the fine line of winning in or getting to a World Series versus going home in that first round, losing to the Mets, it's very slim. They're going to have to make moves come trade deadline. Let's put that to the side. What do you want to see from the players that are currently in this organization, whether it's AAA, AA, or at the major league level right now?
Yeah, so this is, and a lot of people don't like to say it, but it's true. This is sort of the six-week trial and error period for me. What can you learn over the next 6 weeks that you can take into the trade deadline? If for the next 6 weeks your center field and left field position continue to struggle, then you go in, and that's where you have to put your focus on. If over the next 6 weeks your bullpen goes out and really struggles, then that's where you need to put some stock into as well. And I think that's going to be. I don't think it's rocket science to a lot of people that the Phillies' needs are outfield and bullpen. Looking at it right now. But what I say about the bullpen is a lot of this bullpen is going to be fixed internally. I don't think they're going to go out at the deadline and get 4 different relievers because, you have 3 good ones at the top. Even if, they've been going through some iffy times. Matt Strahm doesn't look like last year's Strahm. I still don't think he's a bad pitcher. Romano, has really bounced back after a rough first month, even with a bad outing mixed in there. I thought last night was huge for him. And having an inherited runner on second and basically coming into the game, and that runner never even got halfway to third base. That was a really big outing for him. But it's looking at, where finding out the true holes. It's pretty obvious this team is going to need another bat. It just feels like they need a little more pop. I think they wanted that when they signed Max Kepler. He hasn't given that to what they hoped for. But, seeing what needs to be on the table in July. And as far as AAA, seeing the guys down there that continue to impress. And, I don't think Otto Kemp wouldn't have gotten this call if he didn't have an 1100 OPS in AAA. But he's earned the chance to show the Phillies that he can be a right-handed bat. And, if he comes up here and hits like he did in AAA, yes, I know last night was a bunt and a slap hit along with a nice single. The combined exit velocity on his last 2 hits was like 30 miles an hour. But if he comes up here and he shows that he can play multiple positions and you can throw him out in left field and he's not a disaster, and he continues to hit the ball, then when Bryce Harper comes back, maybe that's a situation where they keep Otto Kemp over a guy like Weston Wilson, who hasn't really shown you a ton this year. So, it's these next few weeks that really these players have to show, that they can be here in October, because this doesn't feel like a trade deadline to me where they just sit on their hands and do absolutely nothing. Nobody on this team's getting younger. Zach Wheeler is giving you some of the best pitching you've seen in the history of this franchise. You can't continue to just waste that. Harper's not getting older, or he's not getting younger. He's only getting older, and we can see that. He's not the 21-year-old athlete anymore that can fight through any injury and continue to play. When he's hurt, he's hurt. Kyle Schwarber, this is his last year under contract. I'd be shocked if he doesn't come back, but you can't head into this trade deadline knowing that, whether we like to say it or not, there is a chance that Schwarber could not be here next year. I don't think it's a high chance, but this is a deadline where they have to know their exact needs. And I think these next 6 weeks are really big for that, seeing what you need and truly what you don't.
Yeah, no, great answer. And it's the truth. It's the fact. I know everybody's like, oh, we need to make moves. Yeah, sure. They know that too. And I do expect them to.
Everyone knows. Everybody knows we need a bat. Everyone knows we need a reliever. That's not
that's down the road, man. That's a bunch of trips to the shore over these next few weeks, man, until they're going to be making that move, because nobody's from a general manager's perspective, you're not making that move until you have to.
The reason you don't make that move is because if you trade for a big time reliever in June, this price is practically doubled.
Yeah.
The second you look desperate, the price goes up.
Correct.
They have to continue to ride with what they have. I mean, I think they've shown that. They could have tried these older, proven guys they have down in AAA. They called up Mick Abel and Seth Johnson instead. There's some 28 to 30-year-olds down in AAA right now that could start a game for the Phillies if they needed to, or be a reliever for the Phillies if they needed to. And the Phillies are using the young guys. I think that says a lot for them right now.
All right. The odds that Craig Counsell gets thrown out of another game tonight?
I would have to look that up. Has any manager ever been thrown out in 3 straight games? 3 straight games.
Do it, Craig. Do it. Here you go.
Has any manager been tossed in 2 straight games?
I would imagine 2 straight definitely has happened a bunch. 3 straight?
Crazy.
That's a good one. We have to look that up. We're Luke Arcaini, live from Citizens Bank Park. Make sure you catch all of his great writing skills over at crossingbroad.com. Great follow as always. Update us quickly if you could, because I know you had a tweet earlier. Rob Thompson talk about Bryce Harper and Aaron Nola. What's the latest with both of those guys?
Yeah, so we'll get an update here in about 25 minutes. We'll speak to him around 3:45. They met with the doctors and talked to the doctors last night, Harper and Nola, but Rob Thompson didn't get to see the doctor after the game. So they found out more this morning. We don't know exactly what it is yet. So we'll know that in a little bit. But just a quick note that I think is worth noting. Trey Turner's hitting leadoff today against a righty. Which that's been the Bryson Stott position since he's moved to the leadoff spot. So it's pretty obvious that they're getting Stott out of the leadoff hole now after a rough last few weeks. He is batting 5th tonight, which is funny. When this lineup doesn't have Bryce Harper, it's not that deep. So as far as tonight, Alec Boehm is hitting 3rd. Bryson Stott's hitting 5th. It's a Stott, Real Muto, Kepler, Kemp, Marsh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it does get a little thin. But once again, I tweeted this out last night. There is nothing in baseball that's better for a struggling team than a walk-off win. It doesn't matter if it's a walk-off balk or a walk-off home run. Seeing them go out last night and, throw the water on the dudes and get Otto Kemp with the water jug after the game, that stuff goes places. And, just that is such a deep breath that they can take. I honestly think that's what they needed. They just needed to take a really big deep breath. I know Schwarber talked yesterday, and he's like, you can't ride the highs, you can't ride the lows. You have to sit right in the middle. And even after you lose 9 of 10, and you score 1 run in 4 of your last 5 games, you can't get too low. Because once again, this team's not even halfway through the season yet. So there's a lot of baseball left. A nice opportunity tonight with Mick Abel on the mound for his 3rd start with the Phillies.
That's right. We'll talk about Colin Ray in just a second versus Mick Abel. Slight favorites for the Cubbies. Wrong team favorite. Again, we're talking about a $4 difference there. Some like to say 4 cents difference, but it's minus 112, minus 108. You do what you want with that one. But the story of tonight's game is another start for the young Mick Abel. Again, first 2 career starts, 11 and a third innings, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. Yielded 1 run and 3 hits over 5 and a third against the Toronto Blue Jays on Wednesday. Had that great performance going up against Paul Skeens against the Pirates. So it starts and ends there, because I do believe that, if you're able to get this guy to continue to produce like he has, now that's where I want to stop myself. Is that the expectation where we're at right now with Mick Abel? I get it. It's the pros. It's the bigs. Get in there, kid. Let's see what you got. You've been awesome. But what should be our approach when it comes to Mick Abel getting his 3rd start against a really dangerous lineup with the Chicago Cubs this evening?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't shown you anything yet where you can doubt him as of right now. And I know it's only been 2 starts. But his first ever start, he went up against the Cy Young favorite, and he hung in there basically the entire game with him. Mm-hmm. And then he traveled to another country to pitch his 2nd start, and he looked really good up in Toronto. He hasn't given us anything to doubt his ability yet. And yes, this is a good Chicago Cubs offense. But they're striking out at a pretty nice clip over the last, I would say, 2 weeks right now. I was looking at a few of the splits earlier. I do favor Mick Abel against the Cubs rather than Ray versus the Phillies, even though this Phillies offense hasn't, been that great over the last 2 weeks. The Phillies have hit Ray pretty well. And it seems like he is starting to get on a downward trend. He had a really nice start to his season. He let up 2 earned runs or fewer in his first 7 starts. And then he surrendered 6 earned runs over his last 2 starts each. So, it seems like maybe he was just riding a little bit of an early season high, and he's kind of starting to get back down to reality here. So, I think that's probably why the Phillies are a little bit of a slight favorite.
Yeah, he got the win against the Phillies back on April 25th, 5 scoreless and 7 Ks. Is there a player you have your eye on from a player prop perspective this evening from the Phillies or the Cubbies?
Yeah, I keep saying, maybe it's the night that Schwarber starts to get back to it. I believe the wind's blowing out tonight towards right field. I think this is probably a Schwarber night. I would probably look at Schwarber. But yeah, I would just continue, to look just at the team in general, because I think last night was a big night to build. Trey Turner's obviously been hitting the ball well recently. I would probably look at those 2 guys right now.
Let's go, Trey. As far as trade deadline, we're going to get over to the U.S. Open in just a second. Any shot that the Phillies can land Denzel Clark at the trade deadline? I don't care if he's hitting 205. I want that glove out in Citizens Bank Park center field. Now, Rojas is pretty good in his own right, but man, what a grab yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude's got a couple of them right now on the resume. That's the crazy part.
That dude is awesome. He had another one in that game last night that was not as good, but it was still pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, he's insane.
He is. He's like
unbelievable athleticism.
To be able to climb a wall like that, come on, man. That's just stupid. And if you missed what we're talking about,
I would tear like 6 muscles in my body.
That was catch of the year, Major League Baseball. Nobody's topping that. Nobody's topping that. And the only way you're topping is if you catch it with your bare hand out in left field. All right. All right. And then we'll get you out of here on this one. Luke Arcaini, our resident golf expert here on The Gambler. He will be a part of my foursome when it comes to the swinging and dinging. We texted last night. I'm like, yeah, as if you had a choice. We've moved. We announced it yesterday. I'll give you more information on that in just a second. But U.S. Open, we got some time. It's only Tuesday, teeing off on Thursday. Come on, man. Is it really Scotty again at plus 275? Can we just get somebody else in there? Or is it just like, dude, this is Scotty's world we're living in. Everybody's playing for second.
Yeah. I can't sit on here and talk to people and tell them not to do it because the guy's a freak. He's an absolute freak. It's just insane. The thing about Oakmont is you have to control the golf ball. And I think Scotty's one of the best, obviously, in the world at that. It seems pretty obvious. I'm going to be laying it down on that number. But
if you remove Scotty from the equation, where are you looking?
Oh man.
Because we got major money movement on the guy that I like. Last week he was 9-1. He is now plus 750. I think DeChambeau could get the job done again.
Okay. Yeah. I don't hate that play at all. It's a long golf course. There is a par 3 playing close to 300 yards at this golf course. Yep. It's a little absurd. I mean, the biggest thing about Oakmont is you have to control the golf ball. If you're flaring out and finding your way in this rough, you're done. I saw a quote from Rory's press conference. He shot an 81 in a practice round and thought he played really good golf.
That's good.
I believe I saw I have to find the exact number. Don't quote me on this, but I think the odds for the winning score right now,
talk to me,
are like close to even par. Like it's going to be an absolute grind. If you like birdies, I don't advise you watching this tournament because it's going to be insane. It's an awesome weekend for golf. The U.S. Open's the best. And I'm happy that they're doing it in a really challenging course because I love watching golf courses just eat these guys up. I think it's fun because I think it really shows you the best golfers. Anybody can go down to a Hilton Head kind of course and shoot 25 under. But watching these pros try and defeat Oakmont is insane stuff. We saw Dustin Johnson. I think he finished back in 2016. His winning score after 4 days was 4 under. Mm-hmm. And he said the golf course is only harder now than it was then. So it's going to be a grind of a weekend. I'm going to lay it on Scotty's number. I will say just a little flyer for me. Joaquin Niemann has won 4 of the last 8 live events. Arguably the top 3 ball striker in the world. Really controls the golf ball. It's going to come down to iron play once you get out of the box and who can stay in the fairway. Because if your driver's not on at Oakmont, you're done. I saw a lot of people like Shane Lowry this week. I will say I'm a little against that because I think of the course at Oakmont and I think how frustrating it is, and I know how Shane Lowry plays when he's frustrated, and it's not good. So I'm going to stray away from Lowry, but I like Niemann. I'm going to take him top 10. I think it was around plus 220. And then obviously, I'm going to probably lay it on Scotty and DeChambeau. But I mean, listen, it's hard for me not to root for Scotty at this point.
Oh yeah. Rooting's a different ball game. Yeah. Rooting's a different. He's
the man.
He's
so
incredible.
I'm gonna look there. I will say I'm gonna throw a little on Ludwig as well. As long as his driver continues to hit how he's been, the irons have been a little bit of a struggle recently for him. But if the robotic way that he hits the ball, if he finds it this weekend, he'll be in contention as well.
Joaquin Niemann, he's got a little play on Tommy Fleetwood, top 10 as well at plus 220.
I like
Scotty.
Fleetwood as well.
All right. DeChambeau is in there. DraftKings has a ton to choose from. I know I'll make a few bets over these next 24, 48 hours here before they get going on Thursday, but looking forward to bellying up and enjoying 4 great rounds of golf out there at Oakmont. Hopefully we are going to enjoy tonight's game. Once again, Phillies and Cubs, game 2, slight dog here. Mick Abel on the mound. Luke Arcaini, fantastic stuff as usual. Enjoy the game, sir, and we'll catch up later this week. Actually, tomorrow night for Wheel of Misfortune.
Come on.
There he is. You the man, Luke. Awesome. Great job as always. Luke Arcaini on the Gambler Hotline. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Wheel of Misfortune coming up in just a little bit later in the show. But the U.S. Open, man. And I know you're seeing all those videos out there that the rough is thick. I love that stuff. I do. I'm a sucker for it, but I feel like we are over the top. I saw a video yesterday of these ground crew members with like almost a buzz cut, like how the trimmers that you use for your hair, get your kid's hair cut, your haircut, whatever. And like, there they are. Like, nobody can see that. Come on, dude. I am a lover of all things golf course as far as manicure and the way they look and the designs and everything. Like, I get down with it. I love when it comes to building a golf course, but I think there are things that we could probably skip for the the engagement purposes on the timeline, and that was definitely one of them. There's a lot to like about that golf course. The bunkers are awesome. The length of it is great. The history, I mean, it's really one of the toughest courses ever in the history of all things golf, and we're going to see more of that come this weekend, starting on Thursday. Again, DraftKings right now showing Scotty Scheffler your overall top favorite at -270. I like Bryson. Money coming in on Bryson. Yesterday or last week, he was 9-1. Now he's +750. John Rahm 12-1. Rory 12-1. Xander 22-1. Morikawa is an interesting name, but I feel like every time I get involved with him, he never delivers. He's at 25-1. Oberg's in there, as Luke pointed out. Here's a flyer for you. I would wager on Jason Day if he wore the shorts that he wore today. I would spend my hard-earned money. Now, I know you can't rock shorts, but maybe get the American flag pants, a la John Daly style out there. And I will place a wager on him top 20 or top 10. How about that? I kid. You got to love it. All right, daily ticket rolling out. We'll talk more about the U.S. Open and, of course, Swing It and Ding It. Moose Mays and Danielle will have you covered on all things PGA Tour, U.S. Open, and Philly golf all in together at Swing It and Ding It. And while we continue to talk about golf, I plan on playing again this weekend. WearSPF.com. Wear SPF. Get yourself the suntan lotion performance sunscreen. You can get it at Amazon, CVS. They got it all over the place. It's Justin Thomas's brand. We linked up with them. I got the 50. This is what I'm using. I also have the chapstick, which is good. And then I have the cream as well. What do they call that? Mineral? I forget what it is. Anyways, I'm obviously more of the spray. I got it 2 bottles, 2 cans, 1 in the golf bag, 1 in the car. This is obviously for promotional purposes in studio. But wearspf.com. When you wear it, you could feel the difference. I promise you this. Number one, there's no scent, right? So it's like, like if you want to smell like a coconut, more power to you. I'm kind of one of those guys that believes the scent will attract mosquitoes. You're out in the course, you're performing, whatever it may be. I just like things that don't have a scent to them. This does not. When you wear it, it has a layer. You feel it, right? So you're protected. There's a lot of details into this that opened my eyes. Justin Thomas, first of all, the story behind why he went into creating this product. He had an issue. I mean, he almost lost the damn leg, believe it or not, due to a sunspot that could have been cancerous. Go further. If you go to wearspf.com, the story is right there. You'll read it. And that's why he decided to create this brand. There's no bad, ingredients in here. It's safe for your kids. You could scan it. There's a story out there about scanning it for people that have those barcode scanners on their iPhones that will tell you what product is good and what's not. Go ahead and scan this and tell me what you get. It's incredible. It's like 5 stars. No lie, no BS. I'm not even being paid for it. I'm not. We are teamed up with them over at Swing It and Ding It. Good people, but I am using it right now at Wear SPF. So go ahead and get yourself a can of that for the summertime. All right, let's keep it moving. Other side. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA Finals. Sean Barnard's going to join me coming up at 5 o'clock. Here's the deal. Is this series over? That's the question that I'm asking myself right now. And unfortunately, I don't like the answer that I'm giving. I'll break it down for you a little bit more, and we will go over the history behind a road team favored in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it catches your attention. And here we are tomorrow night, 5.5-point spread, OKC favored on the road against the Pacers. Let's talk a little bit more about Game 3 NBA Finals, look back at Game 2. A lot to get to. Daily Ticket, more after this.
Spring is in the air, and it's time to swing for the fences. Our MLB coverage is bringing heat all season long.
Everybody moves up 90 feet.
Be sure to catch Luke Arcaini and Sean Brace on the Daily Ticket. Only one place that covers all the action. It's The Gambler.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One, is coming back to Las Vegas.
And you can win your way to be there.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com. But starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only, or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Busy on the Vine Expressway both ways, Schuylkill to Broad, jammed on the Schuylkill. Westbound University Teacher Ward and Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound Stopping Boulevard to South. 95 northbound back to Allegheny to Bridge. Southbound Jan Cotton to the Betsy Ross with road work in the right lane. To tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 Max 6 Dual Power Tool Combo Kit, now $199. Head to your nearest Lowe's store for big savings on tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code MARK for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Do you own or manage a business here in Philadelphia? Are you unsure where to start when it comes to advertising? Well, here's a surprise. Fox Sports The Gambler, your local iHeart station, is the one place you can get it all. Hey, it's Sean Brace, and we can help with everything from radio and podcast ads to social media and digital. And we can even get local voices like mine spreading the word about your business. So if you're looking for someone to take care of it all, do yourself a favor right now. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit iHeartAdvertising.com today.
Looking for sun protection that actually works and feels great? Wear SPF by PGA Pro Justin Thomas has you covered, both on and off the course. Dermatologist tested and sweat resistant. It's broad spectrum SPF that won't mess up your swing or your skin. From the first tee to everyday life, Wear SPF is a high-performance skincare collection that helps you protect yourself like the pros. It's par for the course. Shop now at wearspf.com and stay sun safe all year long. That's wearspf.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Meta AI is the personal AI that's tailored to you. Now with its very own app. It's built to get to know you, offering helpful answers and inspiration. If you're looking for something to add to your bucket list, Meta AI goes beyond traveling the world. It remembers you're a basketball fan and suggests you attend one of the playoff games. Just start typing or speaking to get the answers you need, wherever, whenever, because Meta AI is your personal AI. Download and try the app today. Now available on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
iHeartRadio just gave driving an upgrade with Presets, now on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Your go-to stations, podcasts, and playlists, all just a tap away on your dash. Start your engine, hit play, and drive happy. Free with iHeartRadio on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, who's a good boy? Oh, who's what? Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
The Oklahoma City Thunder clapped back at the Pacers after receiving a massive gut punch, a game in which they led throughout until there were 0.3 of a second to play in game one on the Halliburton rainbow jumper, losing 111-110. They show that rebounding prowess, unbeaten following losses, that remains intact as the Thunder win game two big, 123-107 over the Indiana Pacers.
As you just heard, the Oklahoma City Thunder Radio Network clapping back. That guy is, he's always got the lines. Let's put it that way. Thundering into the next round. He's always puking on the microphone, but he's in Oklahoma City. It's the Daily Ticket. Hello, everybody. Sean Brace with you here. All right, so NBA Finals Game 3 tomorrow night. First and foremost, coming up here at 5 o'clock, you're going to hear Sean Barnard, myself. Be sure to get over to foxphlgambler.com. That's our website, at foxphlgambler.com. And you will be able to hear a great breakdown by Sam Ostry and Sean yesterday. Fresh perspective on all things NBA Finals as it's tied up at one game apiece. We'll talk a little bit more with Sean, as I said, all things NBA Finals, mixing some Sixers, some Joel Embiid conversation on the timeline. We've heard that before. But, you know, it's always good to get the Sixers discussion going because it's a new season with the NBA draft coming up, right? Who will they pick? What's going to happen? We shall see. But tomorrow night, so we are going to go live. The Gambler Gang will be live from the Gambler Studio here, and we're calling it the Gambler Lounge. A lot of gambler, I know. And here's the cool thing. I do want to put this out there for the people. So we're doing something different. I know that there are a ton of people that do these watch parties. We have been doing them for a few years now. And they're good. They're fun. And for the people that tune in, you know, it's intriguing. When you have a question, you can fire it at Sean Barnard or who's ever in the building, whatever it may be. But it never really grabbed me. We did it. It was fun. We tried some different things, but nothing really was grabbing me to the point that if I was a viewer, I was a listener of this radio station, why would I watch? You know, would I tune in every once in a while? Sure. All right. Well, fourth quarter, Tyrese Maxey on the floor against the Knicks. Cool. I want to watch with the boys. That's fine. But there's got to be more. There needs to be more. And we have some creative minds in this building, and we got some great personalities. So let's try something. Let's experiment. For crying out loud, it's June 10th. the NBA Finals that doesn't feature anybody worth a damn in a lot of people's perspective, not mine, because I think you're missing the mark on SGA. He's incredible. Of course, the moment with Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers, Oklahoma City in game one was fantastic too. A little bit of beat down, not a little bit. A beat down, 123-107. And I'm not sure we're going to see better games moving forward. Anyways, but we'll leave that alone. But what could we do that could grab you, that would make it an appointment? That would make you want to watch, right? And from the gambling perspective, if I have money on a game, who cares if I lose? Who cares if I have an over on rebounds of Pascal Siakam? Who cares if my same game parlay comes through? Yeah, if you tail me, sure, we're all in it together. Other than that, doesn't really grab me. I don't think it was grabbing you guys either out there. So we decided to change the game. We came up with an idea of how we can make the head-to-head wagering more of a factor. And, oh, by the way, losing bets must be paid during the game, during the stream. So the payoff is there. The reason to watch, of course, is the game, but the wheel of misfortune is everything. And the wheel is a simple wheel that you spin like the carnival games, like, people that give away stuff, whoosh, and on the wheel, there's going to be 16 ways to repay a bet. 14 positive, one a viewer's choice, and 14 negative, one a viewer's choice, and one positive, where if you do land on that slice of the wheel, I think it's something along the lines of you don't have to get up for the rest of the day. Somebody from the gambler gang will go and get your food, get your beer. You could just sit there on the couch for the rest of the game. It's only one. The rest of them are consequences, how you can pay, repercussions, how you can pay the head-to-head wager if you do lose. Now, I'm not going to give them all away. You're going to have to tune in. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. But I will tell you this. One of the losing wagers is you have to talk like Stephen A for the rest of the game. That means you can't, if you are selected and you lose that wager, you must speak like Stephen A from here on out, which is pretty funny, right? The other one that I'll give you here, which is kind of in the department of ew, that is disgusting. We're calling it the mystery smoothie. Yes. Went to the iHeartRadio fridge here, which is pretty clean. I'm not going to lie to you. A little disappointing about that. There wasn't old Chinese food from 2 weeks ago. Not that I would put that in there, wink, wink. But it's the mystery smoothie that involves 3 ingredients from the iHeartRadio fridge, which is pretty funny. And then I'll give you one more, which is from the exercise, from the physical side of the wheel. And it's the burpee bet. And you have to do 1 burpee for every point scored if you lose that wager. And those that don't know what a burpee is, essentially it's when you jump up, or you're on your 2 feet, you jump up, and then you go down, do a push-up back on your feet. That's 1. Burpees are tough. Go ahead and do 20. You'll feel it. So if you have to do 80, if you have to do 60 of them throughout the course of a game, you're going to feel that. That's going to suck. And oh, by the way, you just showed up to watch the game, have some fun with the gambler gang, and now you're doing burpees, sweating. Yeah, that's fun. All right. So that's the wheel of misfortune. Trust me, it's going to be fun. How it's going to work is the box of bad beats will have everybody's name in it. And at the start of every quarter, we're going to draw 2 names. The first name out of the box of bad beats, because of course, if your name gets pulled, that's a pretty damn bad beat to start. That person will pick the category, points, rebounds, or assists for said player. So let's just say SGA first quarter points. Boom. That easy. I pick it. The second player that is picked out of the box of bad beats will have the option to go over or under, right? So you're following me on this? Real simple. Pulling 2 names at the start of every quarter. Bing, bang, boom. First person chooses the category. Second person chooses whether it's under or over. Good luck. At the 5-minute mark of each quarter, we will spin the wheel of misfortune to see what the loser has to do at the end of the quarter. So there's going to be some fun payouts. We also have a fun halftime idea coming up where we're going to do some halftime karaoke act up. There's going to be some other odds and ends. We got Buster from Q102, some other people potentially stopping by, including, and I'm hesitant to put it out there, and I'm not going to say his name, but if this dude stops by, he is easily like Philadelphia music. For me, I'm a DJ. I love this stuff. Like, he's top 5, man. It would be incredible if this dude comes through our watch party for Wheel of Misfortune tomorrow at the Gambler Lounge. I'm hopeful. He's in the area. We have reached out. There is potential there. There is interest there. We'll see if the timing adds up, but I promise you this, the Gambler Gang is going to be in attendance. It's going to be a packed house. We're going to get stupid. So please subscribe, tell a friend, stream us on the YouTube channel for the Gambler at Fox PHL Gambler, at Fox PHL Gambler. You find us. We got over 1,000 subscribers. I think we started it this past year, or last year, excuse me. Doing well, continues to grow. We're streaming live now on it and all of our other social platforms. So check us out. Again, long-winded, but I don't care. It's going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. The Wheel of Misfortune going down inside the Gambler Studios. Of course, it's the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, Game 3. And I've been talking about this a lot because it is very intriguing when it gets to all things wagering. And they are 5.5-point favorites. OKC is favored at this point in time. I don't imagine that number going anywhere but north for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think a lot of people are starting to look at it the way I am and not feeling good about a potential Pacers win over the next 3 games. I think this is going to go 5. I don't think OKC is going to slip up. And I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win the championship in 5 games. Now, but Brace, they lost game 1. What are you talking about? This is the Pacers. Like, one thing that hit me 2 days ago for that game 2 was how exhausting it has to be a Pacers player. Now, I get it. There's a lot of belief. You've been there. You've done it. You got, you're feeling like this higher power. Tyrese Halliburton, Siakam, you got great names. You got a great coach. And you've defied odds multiple times throughout the course of this playoff run. But don't you have to feel like if you were on that Pacers team, enough is enough? Like, perfect example is when they were down by 17, 18, whatever it was in game 2 at halftime. What do you think they were saying at half? There's no way that they were saying, hey, guys, we've been here. We know what it takes. No way. I think in that game 2 halftime moment, they were probably looking around going, are you kidding me? We have to do this again. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And I don't think they have a choice. This Oklahoma City team is disgusting. Defensively, they are all over you. They run in bunches. They got length. The advantage is there. How small does Halliburton look versus that starting 5 for OKC? SGA is even better than advertised. What he is doing through 2 games of the NBA Finals, this is what's hitting me right now. And it shouldn't, because this guy won the MVP. We know how he's good, how good he is. He won the Western Conference MVP. Like, we understand how great of a player we are watching right now. But then to deliver on that stage where people are just chomping at the bit for you to slip up, for you to score 20, for you to have an off night. SGA has done one thing wrong through 2 games. He missed the final shot in game 1. Other than that, this dude is unbelievable. And when we have LeBrons and Kobe's and the great players, the Durants, and we just chew them apart for every little thing they get wrong. And SGA is like, he understands what's at stake here, because if he does, he's going to hear it. But this dude delivers and then some. He is a special, special talent. OKC has him a superstar. It is incredible. It is a pleasure to watch SGA play basketball. These 2 games, he has been the best player, hands down, and then some. Throughout the course of these playoffs, he's been the best player. I think Halliburton's been maybe a little bit more clutch. SGA is the best player. Look, I get it. The Denver Nuggets took him to 7 games, and Joker is the real deal. I think there's a conversation to be had right now that SGA would be my number one pick if you told me I can have anybody in the game right now. Joker is tough. I don't want to disrespect him because he is so incredible in what he does night in, night out, and they took them to 7 games. But come on, man, SGA is unbelievable. 72 points throughout the first 2 games. I think it's the most by a player in NBA Finals history as far as a debut finals is concerned. Putting 2 NBA Finals games together, he's top 3 with 72 points. AI is in that mix with the finals appearance against the Lakers back in 2001. It's been a treat to be able to watch this guy night in, night out, all season long. That team all together. Man, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Of course, the wheel of misfortune is going to be all greased up, ready to go. OKC's a 5.5-point favorite, and the trend/stat that I continue to throw out here, courtesy of our great friend Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. The history behind a team being favored on the road in Game 3. It's only happened 3 other times. 5 times in 25 years. The past 25 seasons, according to Julian Edlow on DraftKings Sportsbook, the previous examples of a road favorite in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, you got the best of the best. Durant and Steph Curry, the Warriors back-to-back seasons in 17 and 18 against the Cavs were both favored, won and both covered in both of those games. Shaq and Kobe, of course, we know how dominant they were. Indiana, Philly, Jersey, 2001 and 2. They were 2-1 straight up, 1-2 ATS. Thunder are 5.5, which ties them for the largest NBA Finals Game 3 road favorite over the past 25 years. Lakers 5.5 at NJ in 2002. Lakers won by 3. Could the Pacers lose this game by 3? Could the Pacers lose this game by 1? Sure. Could they win it? I think Sean Barnard's going to try and tell us yes. And he's been 2-0 so far through 2 games. I don't see it. And if you don't think a team can win, don't take them as the dog. That's where I stand. I know it's easy to sit here and say that about Oklahoma City. Pacers are at home. Really good team. They deserve to be in this spot. Oklahoma City, for my money, far and away the better team. And look, SGA has been going off. Game 2, you saw a better performance from the Thunder. 5 starters scored double figures. I said it started and ended with Chet Holmgren, who had a disappointing Game 1. Shea was asked about that as well. His thoughts on Chet's Game 2 performance. This is what he had to say.
Special thing about Chet is nobody said anything to him.
Is that right?
Yeah. He's such a competitor, and he gets lost in the competition, and that's when he's the best version of himself. Now, he's going to go out there and make mistakes just like the rest of us. But his intentions, his intangibles, his skill set, and the things you just can't teach that he does on the basketball court, well, they'll take over as long as he continues to have that right mindset, which he does 99.999% of the time. And yeah, you don't have to worry about Chet. He's going to be that guy.
He is that guy. I think we can see from afar, from a distance, Gonzaga, his growth over the years, dealing with that injury. 14.5 on DraftKings. 14.5 is his points total. And he went under in Game 1, went over in Game 2. What is he going to give you in Game 3? I'll ride with Chet again. He was my guy coming into this series. Again, SGA's price so high. And if you want to go ahead and take him at 33.5, I'm not here to deny it. Like the wheel of misfortune, we spin that. I choose Shea's points, and we go 33.5. Are you taking the under or over? You bet your ass I'm taking the over. Hell no, am I taking that under? What's the number that you would take the under on? 40? 39.5, 38.5, maybe 37.5. I'm going over. Yeah, Chet's the guy that I have my eye on. I've been talking about him for the last 2 series. He's been delivering. He gets the PT. He did not get the PT in Game 1, no doubt, but there was something off. And I think that hopefully he's been able to change it. Game of adjustments, series of adjustments. Carlisle is a great coach. What will they cook up? Defensively, they lacked in Game 2. There was a somewhat of a, we're here, we did what we need to do, let's go home. I know that Siakam was not buying that post game when he was asked that question, whether or not they were content being 1-1, but defensively, I'll trust my eyes. It kind of had that vibe in the second half. Here's what Siakam had to say about exactly being content with 1-1.
I don't think it's consolation. I mean, I think you want to win every game you play. So,
we not happy with how the game went today. And that's it. We just gotta turn the page, focus on game 3. That's the biggest game of the year. We just gotta go out there, go back home. Our fans, obviously, I know they're super excited to have us, and we're excited to be back, our home arena with our home fans, and just ready to compete, play hard. Yeah, so that's our focus. We gotta, as hard as this one is, we just gotta move on to the next.
Once again, OKC 5.5-point favorites tomorrow night, game 3 in Indiana, and it is do or die for those Pacers. I don't give a damn. 2-1. You got to find a way to win a game tomorrow, because that Oklahoma City team, I don't see them losing. If they do, it will shock me. They didn't really shock me in game 1. I guess after the aftermath it did, when you look at the box score, 25 turnovers and still find a way to win that game, sure. But coming back, it didn't really shock me. The Pacers are demonic. They got something going on, higher power there. But I think that, the skills will prevail after it's all said and done. It's obviously the depth as well. Better players with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they've delivered and then some all season long. We'll continue to talk all things NBA Finals. Once again, 5 o'clock, Sean Menard is going to join the party here on The Gambler. Let's do this. Other side, though. Quick timeout. We'll come back, continue the conversation with Phillies and Cubs round 2. I know we got a lineup out there. Luke Arcaini joined me a little earlier. Jab back at that, give you some of the highlights from that discussion. Again, we'll focus on some player prop perspectives for both the Phillies and the Cubs. It's a really good Chicago Cubs lineup. Of course, first place in the Central. So a lot of focus on that game, a lot of focus on that series. Great to have the boys back in the win column after losing 5 straight. However, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, NFL season is here. Inside the NFL Insiders coming up in the next hour, Aaron Rodgers at the Pittsburgh Steelers camp. A couple people missing camps around the league. We'll talk a little bit more about that from all of the NFL Insiders. Give you some of the takes from the day. Make sure you don't miss anything as we are getting closer to the NFL season. Of course, training camp and preseason coming up in August. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, Roy Burton back on the program at 4 o'clock. Kyle Fisher will be joining me at 3 o'clock. So we continue to dab the jab. Anyways, we continue to hit on all things NFL and college football on a Wednesday. So I look forward to doing that again tomorrow. Roy and I are going to be talking a little bit more from the fantasy focus on quarterbacks perspective. So I'm looking forward to getting into all that conversation with him tomorrow. However, Other Side Daily Ticket rolls on more after this.
The NBA playoffs are here, and nobody has you covered like the Gambler Gang. We don't just watch the playoffs. We bet the hell out of them.
Oh, my God. Oh, no, not again, Moose. That's my 3rd premium ball in the water today.
So just grab another one, Harry.
Yeah, easy for you to say. These balls are expensive.
Not mine. I get all my balls from buymyballs.com. That's balls with a Z. Top quality, recycled premium brands for a fraction of the price.
Wait a second, Moose. So you're playing premium balls and not freaking out when you lose one?
Yeah, you got it. Hurry up. You're holding everybody up.
Ha, yep. I'm ordering from buymyballs.com right now. Buy premium golf balls without the premium price. BuyMyBalls.com.
Caroline Barrega had it all. A loving husband, thriving kids, and meaningful work. Then, her police officer husband's secret infidelity and abuse of his badge were exposed. In season 4 of the Betrayal podcast, she confronts his deception and the police department that overlooked his misconduct.
The kids and I thought we were living this life of love and a family. Never did I think that anything like this was going on behind our backs.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Betrayal, and listen now.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business. Jennifer Lawson, President and CEO of Keep America Beautiful.
We believe that everyone deserves to live in a clean, healthy, and beautiful community. And for us, that means engaging people in opportunities to help clean up their community, to make decisions about how and where work needs to be done in their community, to improve recycling rates, to improve education around the importance of not littering. And then the whole green side of the equation, which for us is about tree planting and flowers flowers, and the power of beauty to improve health, drive action, and really help people get inspired and to love where they live.
And how do you do that?
Through a network of 750 affiliates across the country, we help communities manage litter in their towns. We organize volunteers for litter cleanups. We host recycling events. We provide recycling education, litter education, and then we help plant trees and flowers in parks and oftentimes in private streets and areas responding to disasters. You can learn more about Keep America Beautiful at www.kab.org, and you can find all our social channels there. We're across all the normal platforms, and we welcome your engagement.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Craftsman Days are live at Lowe's. Get a free select tool when you buy a V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Thrivent.
With their losing streak in the rearview mirror, the Phillies look for back-to-back wins over the Cubbies tonight. Right-hander Mick Abel takes the ball for Philadelphia. Eagles QB Jalen Hurts was honored as the Male Athlete of the Year during the BET Awards Monday. Super Bowl champs kicked off minicamp today, too. And a report from the NCAA found social media abuse of student-athletes declined during March Madness, but it increased among coaches. I'm Scott Davidson.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Road work has a jam 95 southbound Cotman. Past the Betsy Ross, the right lane's blocked. Northbound 95, heavy Allegheny up to Bridge. The westbound Schuylkill Jan University to Ward Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound Stop and Go Boulevard to South. Architella total traffic.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Wondering what a personal message with your credit card number has in common with way too many pictures of your dog? Well, they're both private. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code MARK now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code MARK. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy.
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away. Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Number 1 on your car radio preset hand, the new and improved iHeart Radio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, the Gambler.
Have your attention, please.
You're listening to the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, Philly's first daily sports gambling show.
Let us see the dough.
On Fox Sports Radio, the Gambler. The action starts here.
Yes, Daily Ticket with you here on a Tuesday. Yes, it's only Tuesday. These weeks moving a little slow for you. They are for me. Maybe not. Come on, man. It's summertime. Of course, we got good weather on the horizon. Summer starts next week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. How about today? Not so much a sad day, but a day that, like, wait a minute, man. What happened? Really? Like that type of vibe? You ever get those days? And speaking specifically about my 5-year-old daughter finished preschool today. Wow. August, she will start kindergarten. And I would imagine that is going to hit me like a ton of bricks when I drop her out. I'm getting like misty-eyed thinking about it right now. Yeah, today, final day of preschool. So these kiddies that she's been rocking out with for the last 2 years, believe it or not, weird deal, but anyways, preschool. Yeah, the final day today. So they had a little presentation, made some cookies, did a little stage bow, and off into the summertime. Summer camp in 2 weeks. But man, final day of preschool. It was just like, what? Oh, wait a minute. 5 preschool, kindergarten, next what? Yeah, we did the kindergarten walkthrough. And if you don't have kids, you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's fine. But wait till you do. If you'd plan on it, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just, it sucks. It hurts. And so we did this walkthrough where she went in and met her class and the teacher and just got a little brief view of like what's going on up there in the kindergarten and how it's going to be. And they were all sitting down. There was like 12 or 14 of them in this class, and they're all sitting on the carpet. And the teacher's talking to them, and there she is, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? Puts the hand up and just like, man, it tore at me. And I still have that image in my mind. It's just like, man, I can't believe this is happening so fast. But yeah, final day of preschool for my daughter. And as I said, August kindergarten right around the corner. That's going to be a tough day. A tough day by your boy here. And we'll see how that one works out come August. I might need to have to use a day to take that day off. I was told the other day about a friend of mine who had a kid that went to kindergarten and how funny it was when their son came back from day one of kindergarten, how tired and exhausted they were. I was getting a kick out of that because I would imagine that's how it's going to be for my daughter as well. Anyways, on to the next. Let's continue things over here in the sports world. I do want to hit a little bit on the Stanley Cup because, we all want to see good games, right? Like we all want to be entertained. This is the 3rd straight year that the Florida Panthers have been in it. 6th straight year for a team in Florida. Feels like it's the same old. But when you get Connor McDavid and you get some of the great names that are on the Panthers, you tune in. And the first 2 games were both overtime games, and they were great. Decided by 1 goal, of course. Tremendous hockey games to tune into. Really rewarded the viewer. Last night, not so much.
The final seconds tick away, and the Panthers take care of business tonight. A 6-1 win here in Game 3, and the Panthers lead the Stanley Cup Final 2-1.
Yeah, Florida Panthers Radio Network, 6-1. The over did hit, so we got that right. Thought I was going to see a little bit more of a performance by the Oilers. I said yesterday, and I've said going into this series that the Panthers are the better team. But what are the great players out there in hockey that don't win their cup? Connor McDavid's going to win a Stanley Cup. I thought it was going to be this year. I just thought that there was going to be some sort of, I don't know, hockey god related move here. The juju in favor of the Edmonton Oilers, putting an end to the 32-year drought for O Canada. Shame on me for believing that, because when it comes down to it, the better team is most of the time going to prevail in a 7-game series. And the Florida Panthers are the better team. They are a wagon. And they're favored in Game 4, Thursday night, -148. 6.5 is our total in that one. Yesterday, last night in that game, the biggest thing that I took away was it felt like Florida has another gear, which shouldn't shock people. But Edmonton in their home barn, in their own arena, had a little bit more to match that don't exist on the road in Florida. And then the other thing that caught my attention was the fact that the Oilers were losing their minds at the end of the game. If you watched that game, there was 1,000,001 fights in the second period. It's like, dude, you still got a third period to go, and there was fights in the second period all the way through to the third. And I get it. It's hockey. Like, you know, the fighting's a part of the game, dude. I hate it. It's not for me. I get it. I understand it. I'm not tuning the game out, but it's like last night was embarrassing for the Orioles. Or the Oilers, excuse me, Orioles. It's embarrassing for the Orioles all season. But the Oilers, it was embarrassing. That was my big takeaway after that game. How, in my mind, again, I know it's a new game, fresh start. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off and move on, bury the film like Rex Ryan did. But, like, dude, the Oilers need to look themselves in the mirror and say, like, really? That's the image you guys wanted to portray last night? All of Canada, and they were getting their ass kicked in those fights. And the Panthers didn't even want to fight them. Panthers like, dude, we'll let the scoreboard do the talking. It's the Stanley Cup Finals. The macho man act doesn't need to happen. Nothing is going to carry over except for the fact that, you know what, you are a desperate team that needs to find the answers. And I don't know they will against the better team with the Florida Panthers at home. So Game 4 going down in Florida on Thursday night, as I said, -148 there for the series price. The Panthers are now at -260, Oilers +215. Anything can happen. It's one game. You tie the series up. You're back to Edmonton, and you got home ice advantage. I get it. I just, after last night and the way that played out, I don't know that that's how it's going to play out. I think it's going to be 3-1 heading back to Edmonton. And could they get it going again like they did last year and they forced 7 games? Understood, but I'm not buying it. I'm going to take the Panthers here. -260, a little bit too steep for me, but we'll get invested. We'll get involved in that game on Thursday night, rolling with the home team, Florida Panthers. That is a good damn hockey team. And, of course, great program that they have built a franchise over the last 3 seasons and then some. So credit to them getting the job done. All right, moving off of hockey, let's get on over once again to Major League Baseball. Starts and ends right here in Philadelphia. And, of course, the Phillies breaking that losing streak. The way that they were able to do yesterday was a ton of fun and really rewarding for us as the viewer and the Philadelphia Philly fan to finally come away with a victory, putting an end to the 5-game losing streak. And, of course, 9 out of their last 10. Ugh. Here's how it sounded on the Phillies radio network. Brandon Marsh getting the job done.
Swing at a drive, center field and deep. Pro Armstrong going after it. It won't matter. It lands at the base of the wall. JT is home to score. Brandon Marsh with a walk-off as the Phillies rally, and they beat the Cubs and snap their losing streak, a 4-3 win.
So there are a few things to take away from that game last night, and none that will carry over to this evening, don't get me wrong. But I would say Otto Kemp is an interesting storyline. 3 hits and was able to lead JT into third with that great bunt in the 11th. And, of course, Marsh getting the job done. But ultimately, Kemp really just bringing a breath of fresh air to this lineup that was somewhat stale. I know people are freaking out. When you play 162, you're going to lose 9 of 10. You're going to have 5-game skids. Yankees ended up going to the World Series last year. There was a moment that I said you had to fire Boone last year. Shame on me. I was wrong. Not to say that I think I would have, if I'm not mistaken. I think I said I would have fired him last year, but man, it was ugly. Yankees went through a stretch that just had you second guessing everything that was happening up there in the Bronx. And then they were able to get it going. And of course, they made the World Series. Baseball's funky. You know, you can take it here in Philadelphia. Just think about what happened with Joe Girardi when they fired him and Thompson took over that season. Like, anything is possible. This team, this season could go south, right? It's baseball. But I do believe that they'd have good players, of course, in that lineup, starting with Bryce Harper, who's not there. Trey Turner, who's been playing really well. Bohm, who's coming around. JT's, who's a damn good catcher. Of course, the pitching. Don't have to go into that. Schwarber, how well he's playing it. And look, you get a guy, a kid, to come up and really get it going. And they weren't the best hits, but still, who cares about that? Just finding his mark, making his mark on the game for Otto Kemp. And like I said, I just feel like, you know, those guys in that clubhouse have been in Otto Kemp's shoes before. They were once got the call, which is a huge damn deal. And then to get up there and then, oh, by the way, your first game was against Skeens, was on Saturday. I don't think it was. No. It was, he didn't have a base hit in that game, but still, it's like, yeah, welcome to the show, kid. And then his first opportunity to get inside Citizens Bank Park. And he said last night after the game that he never made a trip up here because he wanted it to be fresh. He wanted to feel the juice, the energy, once he was able to make it to the bigs to play for the Phillies, not be in attendance, not come up and cheer the team on. I thought that was pretty cool too as well. So Otto Kemp, all eyes on him, of course. It's great to have a young bat in the lineup that is actually doing well, as you know, he was called up to do so, playing good defense as well. So that's something that's a plus. Sticking with the young guns here, Mick Abel getting to start tonight, and that's where it goes to for me for tonight's game. All focus is on Mick Abel, who has had 2 great starts, one against the Blue Jays, one against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know what the Cubs are? They ain't either one of those 2 teams. This is a lineup that can go deep. This is a lineup that can get after you. Coached well, like the Cubs. I had the Cubs winning the division at the start of the season. I think they were favored, so that's not really to put anything out there, but they are delivering and then some. That's a good Cubs team. And Ray is on the mound tonight for the Cubs. They're slight favorites. I do like the Phillies to get the win here because of Mick Abel. The book hasn't been written, right? It's not out there on this kid. And there's still a lot of guessing. I know that now 2 starts, you get a little bit more video on them, but for the Cubs, I think they're going to go through a little bit of a lull here. So I would look at Abel tonight. Let's take a peek at some of those numbers as far as the strikeout props is concerned. You would like to believe he's going to get to the 6th, maybe a little bit deeper. A couple arms were used last night out of the bullpen, so it would be a huge plus if that is the case. Still holding steady, a -108 pitching props right now for Mick Abel. 5 strikeouts at -115, over 4.5 at -115. Ray is at 3.5 at -145. Ray pitched well against the Phillies back in April 25th. I think he had 7 strikeouts in that game. Home cooking, walk-off winner last night. You have to believe that the Phillies are going to continue to put it together. And again, something that I discussed yesterday on the Daily Ticket was that the Cubs, when you see that team come across and they come into the bank and you're home, like, it just raises things up because this team is in first place. This team could potentially be a playoff matchup. This team has been hitting the ball well all season long through June 10th today. So I thought that the bullseye would be pretty big on the Cubs back and would get the attention from the Phillies. But again, without Bryce Harper, the expectations were there. I was just like, man, this team is different without Harper in the lineup, and the record would suggest that as well. But Wheeler got the start, gave up a tough home run to Tucker. Like I said, pretty good lineup, and never looked back. Zach Wheeler was tremendous yesterday after that home run, got the job done. Phillies, I think they continue with some momentum today, get a victory at home, Abel, give me the over 4.5 on the strikeouts. I think the kid has it going at home with the juice, the electricity at the bank, and Phillies victory. Hopefully that will be the case. Staying in the world of Major League Baseball, if you were trying to stay up late, now I have a brand new baby out there, 1 month old, my guy Lane, who he likes to stay up in the midnight hour with his dad. Let's just put it that way. So Dodgers and Padres had my attention last night, and it's a great series. You're talking about two of the best teams in the West, two of the better teams in baseball. And the Padres tried like hell to cough it up. Ohtani comes up top of the ninth, tie game, and he grounds out to the pitcher. Pitcher overthrows first base. Ohtani goes to second. Padres were able to get out of the inning, so it goes to extra innings. They lost by a run. They were able to. They went down by 2 in the 10th. Ended up losing by a run yesterday. Dylan Cease on the mound tonight. Right now, he's listed as far as the Padres are concerned. Dodgers plus 101. 8's our total in this one. 9:40 p.m. Here's the way I look at this play tonight. Dodgers aren't favored. I think for a reason. I think the Padres are the play here. Now, it's a road game against a division rival, so there are reasons that the Dodgers should not be favored. But those reasons don't really push it all that much. So when the Dodgers aren't favored, it does catch my attention. So here's tonight. They're plus 101. Cease on the mound for the Padres. Give me the Padres to get a victory to even this series up at a game apiece. It was a really good game last night. What was the final score? Was that 7-6 or 8-7? It was late. It was very late. Let's see here. Last night, 8-7. 8-7 was your final score. I like the Padres to get the job done again this evening. Ohtani went 1 for 5 yesterday. Betts 1 for 5 as well. Freddie Freeman 3 for 5. I think he had the base hit to score the winning run. Teoscar Hernandez in there at 0 for 4. Padres. Tatis at the lineup 1 for 3. Machado went 2 for 5 last night. Jackson Merrill, young gun, he was 1 for 3. Bogart's in there 0 for 4. Cronenworth 0 for 3. As far as props are concerned, I don't really have much to tell you on that one. I would probably stay away from everything Ohtani, I would probably fire on everything Ohtani, but what game would you not do that, especially after 1 for 5 performance? But give me the Padres tonight. I like the Padres to even that series up. So that is definitely a series that has my attention. And then we have some new series that are getting the party started. There was only a few games last night. But the other one that I wanted to discuss was the Braves and the Brew Crew. Once again, Grant Holmes, minus 124. Brewers, plus 102. Braves have been brutal, 8.5. Slight favorite this evening. Something was telling me a little earlier that I like the Braves to go into Milwaukee, come away with that victory tonight. So back in the Braves in that one as well. So Braves, the Padres, and the Phillies, 3 plays this evening. We'll see how that shakes out. And maybe we can get one of those catches that we saw yesterday from Denzel Clark. And if you missed it, the catch of the season, catch of Major League Baseball of the year, just give him the award right now. Something that I've never seen before, maybe rock and jock history as far as MTV is concerned. But the way he timed it, center fielder for the A's, to go up over the wall in Anaheim against the Angels, not his park, it was incredible. Dude looked like Spider-Man out there and made one of the best catches I've ever seen in a professional baseball game. Definitely catch of the year. And ESPN was rolling out some plays that he has made. He had another one yesterday as well. This dude has been all over center field. He's got to work on that average. He's got to work on that 216 average, but has been pretty damn good. He was round 4 overall, 127 pick by the A's back in 2021. Just made his debut back on May the 23rd. So a little ways to go for my guy, but man, he has been making a name for himself. And then some for a center fielder out there with the always Oakland A's, to your boy right here. All right, daily ticket rolling on, a lot to get to. Other side, let's go talk some NFL inside the insiders. Ooh, we got a war of words in the NFC North or AFC North. Give you that. Myles Garrett had something to say about Aaron Rodgers coming to the division. Also, a big-time running back has now reported. He was rumored to be holding out for a new contract. I'll tell you who that is. And last but not least, the 2 sack leaders, the past 2 seasons, are not at camp at this point in time. Is that trouble for both teams? We'll discuss TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson on the other side. Inside the NFL Insiders, plus a trip around the NFC East. Don't go anywhere. More Daily Ticket after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We've got an issue on 95 northbound, jammed up between the Blue Route and Ridley Park. Disabled vehicle has the left lane partially blocked. Further north, 95, heavy to Broad Point Bridge, the wall within, then stop and go Allegheny up the bridge. South of 95, Jan Cotman past the Betsy Ross with road work in the right lane. Westbound Schuylkill, so going University to Vine, Jan Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound heavy Blue Route to Belmont, then stop and go Boulevard to South. Blue Route southbound, Jan approaching Broomall to Media Swarthmore. Lyra to tell it, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know. We highlight Jennifer Lawson, President and CEO of Keep America Beautiful. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Rocket.com is the new home for all things homeownership. Whether you're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started all under one roof. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Man, I hate this course, Moose. I always lose so many golf balls.
You're still buying those overpriced balls, Harry?
What other choice do I have? Premium balls aren't cheap.
They are if you get them from buymyballs.com. I told you, that's balls with a Z. Same top brands, way less cash.
Wait, so you're playing premium golf balls and don't care if you lose them?
Nope. I just reload and keep swinging it and dinging it.
All right. First thing after this round, I'm hitting buymyballs.com. Stop overpaying for premium golf balls. Get yours at buymyballs.com. That's balls with a Z.
I have heart failure, and being out of breath all the time was just too much. I also have other symptoms like carpal tunnel syndrome and lower back pain, and I thought something's really off. That's why I talked to my cardiologist about ATTR-CM, or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis.
ATTR-CM is a serious heart condition often accompanied by other non-heart-related symptoms. It's a condition that gets worse over time, so starting treatment early is important. Talk to your cardiologist today to see if you have ATTR-CM. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com.
Ask your doctor about ATTR-CM.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's Top Dog Law
SportsRadio.com.
Looking for sun protection that actually works and feels great? Wear SPF by PGA Pro Justin Thomas has you covered, both on and off the course. Dermatologist tested and sweat resistant, it's broad spectrum SPF that won't mess up your swing or your skin. From the first tee to everyday life, Wear SPF is a high-performance skincare collection that helps you protect yourself like the pros. It's par for the course. Shop now at wearspf.com and stay sun safe all year long. That's wearspf.com.
Meta AI is the personal AI that's tailored to you. Now with its very own app. It's built to get to know you, offering helpful answers and inspiration. If you're looking for something to add to your bucket list, Meta AI goes beyond traveling the world. It remembers you're a basketball fan and suggests you attend one of the playoff games. Just start typing or speaking to get the answers you need, wherever, whenever, because Meta AI is your personal AI. Download and try the app today. Now available on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
The Big Three is back Saturday, June 14th, live on CBS. Fast-paced, physical, 3-on-3. Michael Beasley, Dwight Howard, Lance Stevenson, Jeff Teague, Joe Johnson, Montrezl Harrell, and more. Live on CBS, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yay, yay!
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Caroline Barrega had it all: a loving husband, thriving kids, and meaningful work. Then, her police officer husband's secret infidelity and abuse of his badge were exposed. In season 4 of the Betrayal podcast, she confronts his deception and the police department that overlooked his misconduct.
The kids and I thought we were living this life of love and a family. Never did I think that anything like this was going on behind our backs.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Betrayal, and listen now.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
What up, Mario Lopez here? You know, I love me a throwback like the Staples Easy button. It's back and bringing more easy than ever. Custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Plus, next day delivery to over 98% of the U.S. Yeah, Staples, that was easy.
Just a few clouds overnight, warm 65 degrees, and it's going to stay on the muggy side. Now, we will change that midweek. Wednesday, we're going to drop the humidity levels due to a westerly wind. Good amount of sunshine. And the other thing you're going to notice is a little bit of haze in the atmosphere. That's due to the wildfire smoke, but nothing of concern when it comes to air quality. The high 85. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Wondering what a personal message with your credit card number has in common with way too many pictures of your dog? Well, they're both private. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Yes, indeed. Daily Ticket, 5 o'clock hour coming up. Sean Bedard's going to join me, talk all things NBA Finals. And thanks to a comment, all things Embiid, Joel Embiid and the 76ers. Yeah. It's June 10th. And nobody wants to have these discussions because they don't deserve it. But the 76ers are a sweet spot for me, and they always will be. It's my favorite team. I love the Sixers. It's been tough. It's been tough. Like, the bar for me is so different than a lot of the Sixer fans that are out there, especially on the timeline. Now, Sean isn't that guy, but he is more so on the championship or bust mentality than I am. Like, the bar is so low for me. I need to be entertained. I just want to be able to tune in and watch a game. Last year sucked. To sit down and spend 2 hours of my night giving it up to watch the 76ers play from the beginning of the season, from game one, that was just brutal. Never believed, was not buying the hype, had a bad feeling about last year from Joel Embiid and the nonsense that went on. Of course, that carried over from the Summer Olympics into the season. Yeah, I was so anti-76ers from the standpoint of giving them my time. Paid attention, tried to watch, but just never was buying what anybody was trying to sell. It's a new year. Coming up, of course, got the NBA draft. That's front and center for a lot of people. But now you start to see people discussing the 76ers and in the light. And I get it because we do it. It's something to do with the content game and where we're at right now when you have a team that is about to win an NBA Finals, whether it be the Pacers or the Oklahoma City Thunder. There it is. Like that's what you need to be to win an NBA champ. How far do you think the 76ers are from the Indiana Pacers? Curious. Because that's an interesting discussion for me, more so than the Oklahoma City Thunder. We are in a different stratosphere. We are in a different galaxy. We are in a different continent from the Oklahoma City Thunder, 76ers to the Thunder. And that sucks because at the end of the day, that's who you have to compete with. That's the best of the best. Historically, one of the better teams in NBA history. They're going to show you when they do win it all. But if you've been paying attention, that team runs deep. That team has pace. That team has chemistry. That team has great coaching. Like, there, other than coughing it up and losing the game one that they did, other than that, they're battle-tested against the Denver Nuggets. They showed the mettle of what it takes to win that series. Sixers don't have any of that. The guy in Joel Embiid that we are all praying and crossing our fingers that he's going to return and he's going to be somewhat of the Joel Embiid of yesteryear and a guy that we could bank on playing 50-plus games in a season. And I'm not there. I won't be. There's nothing that's going to convince me that Joel Embiid will be the guy that they need him to be next year. And I have a bad feeling that if it's not next year, then guess what? It's not going to happen for JoJo. I want to be wrong, just like I wanted to be wrong last year. But I was right. So Philly Voice just put out an article, and it got my attention. It's a headline, and I'm not trying to make light or make fun of Philly Voice. But they asked, if Joel Embiid isn't healthy, can the Sixers still chase an NBA title? Huh? How? Chase an NBA title? Yeah, see, next year, I just think it needs to be about the young guns. It needs to be about the youth. And Sean and I had discussed it a little bit at length, and that's coming up in 5 o'clock hour. And he did make the case that the 76ers, in his mind, have started to make the effort to push the young guns, to push the youth. Grimes played well. That was a great trade. Keep him in-house. McCain, get him healthy. He showed a lot. He could very well be the steal of that draft. He was last year. Is that the expectation moving forward? It is for me. And then some. And then Tyrese Maxey is the one that we're going to look at with the magnifying glass. And I am about as positive as it gets with Tyrese Maxey. But even if you get the best of the best, and this is a discussion for another day, maybe another year, even if you get the best of the best for Tyrese Maxey, what else do you need to chase an NBA title? Do you need a healthy Joel Embiid? If Joel Embiid is no longer in this team, how are you replacing him? These are all questions that we need answered over the next year or two, but ultimately right now, I can't even think about the 76ers competing for it or chasing an NBA title. With what took place last year, the offseason, the question marks, they're firing everybody that's in-house due to leaks. This organization is not a good-run organization, period, in the story. And the coaching, you got a positive vibe from Nick Nurse after last year? Fair or unfair? I feel like we're running through the motions again with Brett Brown. Well, you can't properly judge him. You had to go. No, F that. It's the first time I've ever said that, but this is where I feel. This is how I feel. This is where I stand. Nick Nurse was brought in here to be the damn coach to take that next step. A guy that can draw up a play that makes you go, oh, hell yeah, Nick, nice play. A guy that's able to dial it up to the mad scientist, if I could. It wasn't that guy. And those excuses, see you later. But they're running it back. Everybody's coming back. And now we need to start talking about what they do with this draft pick. What's the best move for this franchise altogether? And how do you handle Joel Embiid? That's where it starts. How do you handle Joel Embiid? Because for my money, when Embiid is in here, he plays 5 games and everything is great, and then all of a sudden he misses a week, misses 2 weeks, misses 3 weeks, it brings everything down. Regardless if he's not on the floor or not. It's just it's the vibes. It's the attitude. It's the way that these players, we got to get the big man back. It's like the belief that once he comes back, then we can turn it on. And I feel like we are doing it every single season, but Joel Embiid played the previous year in the playoffs against the Knicks. Played well, too, on a bum leg. But if this is how it's going to be next year and Joel Embiid's going to maybe get out there and he's not starting the season healthy, like we know he's going to miss time immediately. And then we're going to have to deal with all that again. I just feel like that pulls the franchise down, pulls the young guns down. So what do you do with Joel Embiid? What can you do? I don't think a general manager is going to be calling up going, oh, yeah, let's trade for him. Yeah, sure. Maybe for, a bag of balls, I'll do that deal. But the Sixers aren't going to do that, nor should they. But Joel Embiid, to believe that he's going to be somewhat of Embiid of 2 years ago and, we can count on this guy, I just don't have the feeling that that is the right move. Now, is it the move they have to make due to the contract extension, due to what you can get returned? That's a different discussion. I probably believe yes. I do think that you have to have that mentality. But me, as a fan, as a Sixers fan, chasing an NBA title, let's talk about Joel Embiid and how you handle him first before we start talking about chasing anything of significance as far as NBA titles are concerned. All right, more NBA Finals discussion coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Quickly, over to the NFL. Eagles in training camp, essentially 20-plus teams I saw in the NFL Network all in training camp. NFL season's here, baby. It's here right now. This is what it's all about. This is why you lift those weights in the offseason, to compete. And I saw some schedule breakdowns. That's when we're getting a little bit closer. I was looking at the Chargers and the Raiders. I was watching a Harbaugh interview, and he talked about how him and Pete Carroll will be facing off in week 2. And I go, ooh, schedules actually mean something right now to me. And it's interesting because when you start talking about win and loss records and winning the divisions, that's when you just got to start factoring in the schedules. I am not one of those guys that are firing on win-loss totals as far as DraftKings is concerned once the schedules come out. Credit to the people that are early. I am one of these guys that like to see how things play out, and then we'll attack it come August once we get a little bit closer, of course, to to things that matter the most. Who's in? What are the conversations being had behind the scenes? What are the insiders hearing? What type of PT this player is going to get? What rookies are going to be playing? X, Y, and Z. And that's where I'm at with a lot of this at this point in time. But it's June 10th. Now is the time for the NFL insiders to shine. And let's go ahead and do that right now inside the NFL insiders. First and foremost, I do want to talk about a couple running backs. And Nick Chubb was a guy that had my attention 2 seasons ago. Did he get hurt? Yeah, it was 2 seasons, right? Chubb was a top 5 draft pick in all of fantasy football. Maybe some people even took him top 3. I don't think he ever got the number 1 overall. I could be wrong on that. But, 2023 season, he ended up tearing up his leg in that week 2 spot. And those are the types of injuries that you just don't come back from. So the issue I have with Chubb is the fact that the expectations we're already bringing to the table here. He did sign. He's going to the Houston Texans, according to Ian Rappaport. A 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. Now, the Texans will give him the fresh start, of course, after all the injuries and that he has been able to deal with. The prior 2 seasons only played in 10 games. So we're looking at a Chubb that is going to come in at 29 years old, who had the history with the Cleveland Browns when he looked great. When he played 4 or 5 seasons, whatever it was. But where are we at right now with expectations coming into this season for a team like the Houston Texans? Now, the backfield will have Joe Mixon, of course, in there as well. That's somebody you got to keep your eye on. But as far as 1-2 punch for the Houston Texans, as far as offense is concerned, you have to love that. Now, I'm not trying to get trapped into believing that Chubb is going to be that guy, but Mixon was a difference maker when he was on the field for the Houston Texans last year. And if you can get some sort of significant play from Chubb to spell Mixon, that's only going to make life so much easier for C.J. Stroud in that offense. Offensive line was an issue. Have they fixed that? We'll see. But this is a team that went 10-7 last year. This is a team that won a playoff game. This is a team that ended up losing to the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. Tough place to play. I was high on the Houston Texans last year. They didn't deliver to the level that I thought that they were going to be at, specifically C.J. Stroud. But if you give him a run game and you're able to get something a little bit more from Chubb than what I believe people are putting out there at this point in time, and maybe I'm a little too high on him, maybe not. I do think that this is a huge move for the Houston Texans. Great get. And hopefully Chubb can bounce back from that injury and be something of what he was before he got hurt. Again, it's going to be fun to watch. The Houston Texans offense is great. C.J. Stroud, I believe, will have a better season this year. He was not good last year, in my opinion. Left a lot to be desired, but they are still dealing with Tank Dell injury, who got hurt in that game. Was it the Chiefs game that he get hurt in? He made the catch, the touchdown. I think it was the regular season Chiefs game, right? That was late in the season. So he's going to miss significant time. Of course, you lose Diggs. We'll see what happens. But there's a lot to like from the Houston Texans perspective. Of course, the head coach is pretty damn good with D'Amico Ryans. All right, staying with the running backs, a lot of eyes and a lot of attention right now on James Cook with the Buffalo Bills. He was a huge difference maker last year. And we were talking about that with Roy, I believe, last week, where he said Cook led the league in touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, rushing touchdowns. He's a hell of a running back for that offense. And there were some people wondering whether he was going to be having contract disputes all the way through the offseason. He is in attendance today. That is according to Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. So James Cook has been seeking a new contract this offseason, in attendance for today's mandatory minicamp with the Buffalo Bills. That's good to see there. J.K. Dobbins, come on down. Signed a 1-year deal with the Denver Broncos. The expectations, not so much there, but at least it's a name. And to beef up that running back core up there in Denver. Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, a hot topic when it comes to fantasy. What can you get for Bo Nix, right? Where are you going to draft him? But, man, Sean Payton in that year 2, they had a lot of success. They proved me wrong last year. So I'm looking at anything that's going to make them better. J.K. Dobbins to that roster. I don't know how much of an impact he will have, but he is definitely a name. Signed a 1-year deal today. That is also according to Jeremy Fowler there. To Adam Schefter. Let's go defense. Let's talk about Trey Hendrickson, 35 sacks, TJ Watt, 30.5, 1-2 in NFL sacks in the past 2 seasons. Neither one of them today at mandatory minicamp. Of course, Hendrickson with the Bengals, and they have murdered that situation. I would be surprised if my man is even showing up until week 1, maybe Thursday before they kick off on Sunday, how much they've disrespected him. And again, proof is in the numbers there, 35 sacks. Come on. Treat him with some sort of respect, please. But the Bengals are their own worst enemies when it comes to this, and we've known that for years now. TJ Watt is somewhat of a surprise, but he's overperformed as well. It's like, yo, pay me my money. And they will not lose him. Excuse me. They will give him the contract to keep him in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform forever. I would be shocked if he's ever playing football for anybody else. I think they'd be absolutely stupid if that was the case. So we'll see what happens as far as the future this year with TJ Watt. But according to Adam Schefter, not in camp at this point in time. Staying with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is in camp today, Aaron Rodgers. Wearing number 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm bringing that up. Not so much a big deal. I don't know what to make of it. I just think the fact that they are horrible on the offensive line. They have DK Metcalf on the outside, and that's about it. Freiermuth, okay. Like, they don't have anything of significance as far as weapons on the offense are concerned. And people are saying, well, just pencil them in for about a 500, maybe a win over 500, whatever it may be, because it's Mike Tomlin. I don't know. Rodgers is 41, 42 years old, lost a little bit of a step. I don't think that this is going to work out for Pittsburgh. I was kind of surprised that Rodgers came back. I thought it would be the perfect time to ride off into the sunset, but he wants to play more for Mike Tomlin. Him and Tomlin had, of course, that little bromance where they're winking at each other. And I'm sure, look, it's easy for me to sit here and say I never played professional sports. And if you're going to get paid to do so, it's got to be a pretty cool gig. But, man, you're going to get your ass kicked in that division. Specifically with a guy like Myles Garrett, who came out and said that, quote, we're going to add him to the graveyard. And people are running with that because he was asked about Rodgers being in the division, what that's going to mean. And for those that don't know, Myles Garrett has a graveyard that I believe, put out there for Halloween with all the quarterbacks' names that he sacked. So that's what the play was off of that. But yeah, he's going to hurt Rodgers. That's for sure. That defense, I like the Cleveland Browns. I do. I think they're going to win a little bit more games than what their win total was at 5.5, if I'm not mistaken. Watch out, specifically with Myles Garrett in that defense. But ultimately, that is a bad football team that probably are going to be looking at Shedeur Sanders in week 3, week 4. So I need to, possibly not bite off more than I can chew when it comes to taking an over on win totals with the Cleveland Browns. But still, fun to discuss, that's for sure. I can't wait till we start breaking all of those down from DraftKings Sportsbook, the win totals as far as NFL teams are concerned. But Myles Garrett going up against Aaron Rodgers, a lot of fun with that one. Finally, inside the NFL insiders to the division, trouble in D.C. Pro Bowl wide receiver Terry McLaurin does not plan to attend Commanders' mandatory minicamp per sources. McLaurin and Washington are in a contract dispute. That is according to Adam Schefter. And these are the things that will slow a team down that has expectations, right? McLaurin had a great season last year. 82 grabs, a little over 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, that high-flying offense, and I think that they overperformed from a lot of those players, both offense and defense. Is it fair to say McLaurin did overperform because of the rookie coming in? Possibly. Can you get that same type of performance in next year? I think you can, but I would wager against it. And now when you're talking about dealing with a contract dispute, getting him in camp, you're going to have to deal with all that nonsense. You want Jaden Daniels to be about as comfortable as it gets. And for him to have his go-to guy as far as the wide receiver is concerned, not named Zach Ertz, I don't know if that's how you want to draw it up right now. Again, it's June 10th, but I think it's important for the Commanders to keep those good vibes up, helping out the rookie quarterback. Of course, he needs everything to be flowing in the right direction. Get McLaurin in camp because they have something good down there in D.C. I still think that they are going to take a somewhat of a step back just because of the hype that people are putting around this team. I think they are going to take a step back. I like Dallas actually to finish second in the division this year behind the Eagles. I do. I think Dallas, with the addition of at the wide receiver position, what they've been able to do, of course, with a healthy Dak, like I'm in. I'm in on Dallas finishing second this year, and I won't be shocked if they do so. Schottenheimer doesn't strike me as a good coach, but what do I know? He obviously said something right to Big Jared to get that gig. We'll see how that one plays out, but George Pickens being an addition over on the other side of CD, I do like what Dallas has put together so far in this offseason. Again, we've built this up before. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to be anything of concern from the Eagles' perspective, but I do like the Cowboys to finish second in the division. All right, that's around the NFL as far as the insiders are concerned. Keep that one coming because football season is near. I believe I saw Phil Steele's magazine will be available for July 4th weekend, which is great. And college football, we're going to be doing, man, that is just unbelievable. It feels like literally a week ago we were doing the Around the Horn with Mark Henry Jr., myself, Tansy, and Beef. We were calling that Summer Ball. That's what it was. We did a 5-part series last year. Man, we're going to have to knocking those out. We got to get McClay involved. McClay, the maestro, involved. Dude's all over it on Football is King. Hear that at 6 p.m. every Wednesday right here on The Gambler. All right, other side, 5 o'clock hour. Sean Barnard joins me. We talk a little NBA Finals. Mix in some 76ers. He's a little bit more of a thumbs up type of guy at this point in time with what that team is putting together, and mixed in the fact that the conference is down. The East, not all that good next year. So therefore, are we talking about a playoff contender with the 76ers? I'm still not buying it, but Sean Barnard's trying to sell me. We get into that, but it's more all about the NBA Finals. We talk about how special SGA has been so far through 2 games and the season. Can Oklahoma City be beaten in Game 3 at Indiana? He says yes. Have a listen to this. Sean Barnard likes the Pacers money line tomorrow night. We'll be live with the Wheel of Misfortune. Do not miss it. Streaming on All Things Gambler. Once again, the Wheel of Misfortune. Looking forward to that one tomorrow night. Be back here live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Don't touch that dial. Picks and roll with Sean Barnard and myself is next. Back at this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, a crash